behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Bash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. Another great interview is on its way, but before we begin, don't forget about those subscribe and bell buttons below you there, and you're always going to be notified of any new episodes coming your way whenever they're available. And leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there. And the description part will have contact info as well as the closing credits, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Manitoba, Canada today, we have CC Trubiak, a very awesome artist, and I think you're really going to enjoy him. And before we get into that, here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show, so don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Manitoba, Canada today, we have CC Trubiak. Thanks for joining us, CC.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you here. So how did it all begin for you as far as being an artist? I mean, were you involved in a musical family growing up, or did you just fall into it? I mean, there's different stories. Go ahead and tell us your own.
Well, actually, yes. My dad, who passed away in about 2015, he was a natural musician, and I believe that he grew up in my small town here, playing in bands and being very musically inclined. And actually, from the moment I was born, I personally too really took to music. And but I didn't actually get into becoming an artist myself until around 2010. That's when I really sort of took the plunge and decided to try my hand at singing and songwriting and performing publicly and even recording. So I've been at it since about 2010.
Well, you're really good, and we're going to see there in just a few minutes here. But tell us a little bit about the bands that really influenced you when you were growing up. I mean, I'm sure some of the legends come to mind, but go ahead and give us a few of those.
Oh yeah, from the moment I was, pretty much born, I was really into listening to a lot of music. My tastes have changed a lot over the years, but even back in my youth, I remember really loving country music, but I loved rock music. I loved Motown music. I loved pop. So when I was really, really young, I'd say my first initial influences were the likes of Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson. But I also grew up really listening to a lot of Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and Anne Marie, of course, all three just great Canadian artists. And through the years, though, it has really been my love of country music that has really stood the test of time. And it's probably been about the last 8 years or so where I have truly dived deep into the history of country music, everything from bluegrass to country rock, outlaw, alternative, Americana. And as you can see, I do have a record collection behind me, and that's really where I have absorbed a lot of my favorite kinds of music.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of the best country music from the 70s. You had Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, as you said. It was Neil Young and Willie Nelson. I mean, some of those are really great country artists, and I can really see that in your sound too. So,
absolutely, all great storytellers and authentic. Very authentic. Yeah, that's my jam.
Well, how can we learn more about you? I mean, I'm sure you're on social media, streaming media, and they have a website and so forth. Tell everybody about that.
You bet. If people were inclined to get a little better taste of what I do, I mean, I have a YouTube channel where people can find me. It's just CC Trubiak, but they can find my music on Spotify. I do have a website. That's www.cctrubiak.com, or maybe it's .ca. I'm blanking, but either one of those. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I try to spread myself out there just because I know that in today's sort of social media crazed lifestyle, one sort of has to put themselves out there in a variety of different ways. And I'm not tech savvy in the least, and I don't have a manager, but I try to do what I can to get myself out there. So people that are listening to this, if you're curious, check those things out and don't be shy. Reach out to me. Let me know who you are and where you're from.
Okay. Well, just check them out in all those places, and I'm sure CC here would love you, and he will leave it right back and talk to you there too. And the song behind you says McBain. That's actually the song we're about to play. Is there a story behind this song?
You bet. So McBain, the story behind it is I'd mentioned that my father, who was very musical, his name was Richard, he passed away in 2015 from cancer. And at the time, I didn't realize just how much that loss would affect me. And so right around after he passed away, I started going through that grieving process that we have to when we lose someone we love. And McBain is actually derived from a nickname that he used to call me when I was a little boy. He used to call me Kurt McBain because my initials, CC, stand for Curtis Clay. And he used to affectionately call me Kurt McBain. I don't know why. I don't know what his thought process was, but I do know that I loved that name, McBain. And so when he passed, I wanted to put that name to story. And so the song is loosely based on that. I mean, it's about a character named McBain. And it was a co-written song with a great songwriter by the name of Aileen Martella. And it is available. It's available on Spotify if you want to give it a listen. But it's a very special song to me. And my dad never did hear it, but I'm sure that if he's up there, he has heard it a time or two.
Okay, well, I certainly love this song, and I think you guys out there are going to love it too. And we'll get to that in a second. But CC, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'd love to have you back again sometime if you got anything new to plug by then.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'm currently working on some new material. In fact, I don't know if you, Paul, if you were aware that, but up here in Canada this past summer in 2025, we went through horrendous fires up here to the point where a lot of our communities were being evacuated. And my town of Flin Flon, Manitoba was among those towns, along with our neighboring communities, Creighton, Saskatchewan, and Denier Beach. And we were all evacuated for at least 28 days. And during the 28-day period, I had nothing with me. I did not have my guitar. I certainly did not take all my vinyl records with me. I hoped and prayed everything would survive. But what I ended up doing with my time was doing a lot of songwriting again. And so these songs that I'm working on currently, I'm really hoping to get recorded sometime in early 2026 and have available for people to listen to. So you can bet I'll stay in touch with you. And that way, maybe in the future, we've got more we can talk about.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good, CC. And here it is, McBain by CC Trubiak. It begins right now.
In the cold January 29, his heart was half gold and half cold from the mines. His mama always looking for that sunshine. But McBain, more like his daddy, waited on the moonlight. But McBain, more like his daddy, yeah, he waited on the moonlight. Always flipping a coin, he'd call it in the air. When heads came up, he'd put his money on tails. McBain, he'd get lost just doing what he was told, but he always made it home on a winding road. He was a rover, a bit of a gypsy man, always counting his blessings, but he only ever had just a one free hand. His mama always walking in that straight line, but McBain, more like his daddy, he doubled back 1,000 times. But McBain, more like his daddy, well, he doubled back 1,000 times, 1,000 times. Always flipping a coin, he'd call it in the air. When heads came up, he put his money on tails. Oh, McBain, he'd get lost, just doing what he was told, but he always made it home on a winding road. McBain.